Tonight, I'm going to ask you the question. If your gut and brain are constantly communicating, which one is leading the conversation? Good evening, everybody. Last week, we had a look at the emotional blueprint. We explored emotions, awareness, and the human being as we are becoming. Tonight, I'm going to take you somewhere perhaps unexpected, into the gut. Because you may think that thinking happens only in your brain. There's an extraordinary communication going on in a form of a network. In your digestive system, your nervous system, your immune system, your microbes, and your brain. So this network connects it all together. So the big question today is, could the way we nourish our gut influence the way we experience ourselves and the world around us? So let's examine why we call the gut the second brain. It's not literally a second one of these thinking brains, but it's filled with neurological networkings. As I said, it stimulates the immune system, digests our food, builds vitamins, minerals, vitamin B, vitamin K, builds serotonin, dopamine, GABA, the neurotransmitters. Very sophisticated neurological system. Chinese refer to it as the second brain. We refer to it often as our gut feel. And we realize that there is the brain itself, consciousness, which is an emotional state of objectivity. We realize that we've got the heart, the love space, and the heartfelt emotions, and we have the gut, which is the, like I said, the second brain. So we've got these three areas where we can make decisions. This one is the most emotional, and that's the problem one, because there's options here. It's never definitive. When you're working with the heart and the gut, like we do in our generational emotional pattern releasing work, we're working with definitive. So the heart and the gut are present in the subconscious realm and the superconscious realm, for that matter. The brain is in the conscious, which is here and now. You're never going to get a single definitive answer using the brain. So the gut is not that at all. It's got its own network connected to the central nervous system. And for example, if you ever felt butterflies before an important event, have you ever lost your appetite when you're anxious or overeaten? Have you experienced digestive discomfort during stressful periods? Suddenly there's diarrhea, suddenly there's constipation. Then you've already experienced the gut-brain relationship, completely intertwined, interconnected. In fact, one of the main connection pieces is the vagus nerve, which we'll speak about a little bit later. So just be aware that there's a holistic system going on, and that the whole body is interconnected. And what we eat affects how we think, and it affects what we do. So this gut-brain axis, which is interchangeable, constantly involved with feedback loops, constantly assessing, constantly moving. It's an internal barometer of our measurement of our happiness, our unhappiness, our sadness, our courage, our fear, our kindness, our anger, our worry, our gentleness. So what we eat is crucial, because it's going to influence that very sensitive network, communication network. And the signalings arising from the gut affect the brain, and the signals coming from the brain affect the gut. So the nervous system is there. The vagus nerve is this big connection as well. And often that's disrupted through ongoing emotional disorder or physical dis-ease. We've got the hormonal signaling, because the message goes through the liver through the bloodstream to the hypothalamus, pineal, pituitary gland, and thereafter only hormones are released. You want to know more? Go to my YouTube channel. I have about 400 educational videos there now. And I specifically have done, in fact, 2 weeks ago, we did stress. And we talked about the hormone system. So if you want to learn more, go to that site. It's full of my information. On my website and the library, you will also get these video recordings. So hormone signaling is critical. Apart from that, we're actually making 95% of our serotonin and dopamine in the gut anyway, which is then transferred up to the brain. So you can see as I go on, they're completely intertwined and entangled. And when we consume the microbiome reset, for example, over 80 live strains, we are actually setting up 75% of our immune system, which is lodged in the gut. 75%. So when I measure people's gut, when I have a look at their microbial level and it's sitting on 50%, know that you've got 50% of your 75% of your gut immunity present. And know that you're only digesting 50% of your food. Know that the worms are coming to do the rest. So it's absolutely crucial that we have a clear tube from our mouth to our butt with 100% absorption, because any fermentation is going to bring in the worms. They will burrow through the intestinal lining into the bloodstream, find their way to the brain and affect the brain. So brain fog, poor memory, anything to do with the brain is directly affected by the gut. You will have constipation or diarrhea or cramps or IBS or Crohn's or you name it, disease in the gut. Completely linked and directly linked through the nervous system. That's the biggest one. So if communication is two-way, why do we so often treat the body as though systems operate independently? That's when we're bringing in my whole holistic philosophy, the holistic epigenetic life orientation compass that I have. The whole thing is about holism, the interconnectedness of the body. And as I say to people on a daily basis, your body is speaking to you. It's actually telling you that there's a symptom, there's something out of alignment in the emotional realm. So I always say to people, put your symptoms here in a box. Let's deal with the emotion, because that is the root cause beyond the physical root cause. I'm not saying that environmental toxins don't exist. Yes, they do. The effect of stress on us, the work that we do is going to definitely directly affect the physical, but it's affecting the emotional at the same time. So let's just realize that there's that lovely also feedback loop there between what's happening in the body and what's happening in the mind and the emotions, and ultimately the spiritual realm. So those four aspects make up holism. We can't see the body as separate. We can't see the organs as separate. The heart is part of us. We can't see the disease that we have as separate. It's part of the family. It's part of us. And all it is a trigger to understand an emotion, clear that emotion using the HIELO technique, alchemically shift, raise your awareness, deepen into consciousness, and raise happiness, harmony at the end of the day. And that's what my doctoral thesis is about. It's about exactly what I've just said. So I've simplified it, and it is my life's work sitting there basically, which is nice to have it documented. So the main important thing about this talk is that we're always talking holistically, and we've got an inner ecosystem. And when we're feeding ourselves, we're not only just feeding cells, we're feeding a whole ecosystem. We're not biologically alone. 90% of us is microbial. 99% of our genetic makeup is microbial. 1% is ours. That's what changes our height, our frame, our color of our eyes. So all these microbial communities participate in processes around digestion, metabolism, immunity, and making various nutrients within the gut, crucial nutrients. and their composition varies from person to person. So we have our own microbiome, like our own fingerprint, for example. That's why I love the 80 strains and the substrains, because you will recreate your biome as needed. And it's also an evolving space. So it also stems from birth, because through the birth canal you pick up immunity. Crawling on the ground you pick up. Breastfeeding you pick up immunity. So all the building blocks of our immunity are put in place right at the outset, and obviously the immune system and the state of the mother, the parents, is crucial at the same time as well. So the question I'm going to say to you now is, what are you feeding every day? Not only yourself, but the ecosystem living within you. Now we start imagining. Now we start understanding where I'm coming from. The ecosystem living within you. So we're seeing now that food is way more than calories. In fact, calories is such an outdated space. But food is bringing in energy, protein building blocks, fats, oils, omegas, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, fibers, phytonutrients, all your antioxidants. And these are substrates that the microbes use to make whatever the body needs to boost the immune system. So instead of saying how many calories did I eat and watching your food like that, we could rather say, what biological information and building materials did I give my body today? Did I nourish the body appropriately? Did I give the body enough building blocks? We talk about eating clean, eating green. Eating clean means you've done away with processed foods, sugars, wheat, white potatoes, fried foods, corn, peanuts. Corn, peanuts, wheat all contain a mold because they're stored. So it says you've done away for those and you've gone more for organic eating. High plant-based, around 70%. Plant-based, raw food, that's all very, very good. But we can eat these really healthy foods. We can eat green, but we still got to break it down. If we don't have the microbes to digest it, and we don't have the flaxseed oil, cold pressed, to get the food absorbed, it's not going to get to the cell. And this is what I spend the whole of Saturdays telling people in the stores. Most of them are walking around with 50% absorption rate. So you can turn this on its head. The two main groceries in anyone's shopping basket should be the microbiome reset and the flaxseed oil. Because if you don't, 50% of your food in your trolley that you've paid for is going to get to the cell. You're going to have 50% energy, 50% immunity, etc., 50% nourishment. So once they're digested and absorbed, they need to then get transported to the cells. And here's another problem, because if the blood is thick, you're not going to get proper distribution of food to the cell either, because it's going to get broken down, fermented along the way. It will putrefy in the blood, for that matter, and it needs to be clean. So we've talked about a clean digestive system. We need a clean circulative system. And we need enough flaxseed oil in the body to have created a membrane potential, an electromagnetic membrane potential around each and every cell to attract the food and oxygen in and to get the waste out. You get that with the flaxseed oil, the highest life force of all the oils. That's why it's my go-to oil. It's also cold pressed. It's also, mine doesn't have exposure to light or air. So all of those will oxidize oil at some stage. So I'm saying to you that nutrition doesn't end the minute the food enters the mouth. In fact, it's the beginning part. We've got the involvement of the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, pancreatic enzymes, liver hormones, gallbladder, bile production, in this whole interconnected web within us. All these systems working together. So now we're looking at stress. It's always going to enter the conversation. And we did the biology of stress 2 weeks ago. And we did the emotional blueprint last week. Today we're bringing in the gut part, the physical purification. And when we experience stress, the autonomic nervous system goes into disarray. It changes. And that'll include our sympathetic and our parasympathetic nervous system, our central nervous system, our motor nervous system. All of those go out of alignment. So the question I'm going to ask you is, your gut problem always a gut problem? Or is emotional distress always an emotional problem? Or the two intertwined? Not necessarily. So we can't say that emotional diseases are definitively all caused by the gut, or gut disorders are all definitively caused by emotions. What we do know is that there's something called epigenetics. So you will see gut problems, emotional disorder problems appearing one generation after another. And that is a direct clue to some sort of ancestral trauma, where I'll bring in my holistic ancestral orientation technique to clear those repeated generational patterns. They are linked, but I'm not going to sit here and definitively say that they're directly linked in that sense. From what I see in clinical practice, yes, they are. I look holistically. This is my core philosophy. Physical, neurological, emotional, and spiritual. I look environmental. I look social. I look at lifestyle. Obviously, stress. I look at somebody's purpose. What's meaningful to them? Their pathway. What are they going through? I have a look at what's going on within the whole human being, if that makes sense. And any practitioner, by the way, that's not doing that is missing the major point of healing. And that's why people go from one person to the next, spending more and more money, buying more and more bottles, another oil, another this, another the latest. And you can go on and on and on with that. And in a year's time, that will be out of fashion, and the next thing will be in fashion, because we're not hitting the nail on the head. I always say, if there's a nail in the tire, don't put a plaster over it. Take the nail out. Get to that exact root cause. So we see that with the gut-brain connection, stress is important. We understand the immune system, because if we are emotionally depleted and there's disorder, the immune system is going to suffer, and vice versa. Our immune system is our army. So this tube between our mouth and our gut that's so vital, so crucial, is actually an interface. It's like the external skin. It can't have debris on it. It can't have spills and stains and junk collecting, and it needs to be crispy clean, and the little villi need to be doing this all the time. So it's an interface between our internal and external body. It's a gut barrier, if you like, full of microbiodata. Keeps the immune system intact constantly. So we can say that the gut isn't simply a food processing tube. It's an active biological interface between you and your environment. Now that makes it even more important that when we're eating, we need to be present for lots of reasons, because the pancreas, first of all, the body's nervous system will sense the food. It tells the brain to tell the pancreas what enzymes need to be secreted. You can't be drinking cold drinks with ice and let's say two cold drinks before you eat. Your stomach's already full. It's full of water. Then when you eat, the injection of the enzymes and hormones from the pancreas and via the brain are diluted. You're not going to eat properly. So It's better to eat drink half an hour before you eat and 2 hours after you eat. The coffee break is 2 hours after you eat, not when you eat. Coffee will cause bicarb to be released too soon, and that irritates the pancreas. So anybody with pancreatic problems, do not drink coffee with your meal, and every other person, do not drink coffee with your meal. So this active biological interface between you and your environment is so crucial. We need to revere it, protect it. If you're drinking hot drinks all the time, you're literally burning that interface. Coffee will thin the interface. So you need to realize that you're drinking coffee mainly because your adrenal system is low. 6 out of 7 people, you're looking for that up. If your adrenal system is intact, coffee will lower your energy. I know it, I've proved it. So there are actually so many things to bring into the discussion, and I have talked about this before. So look on my YouTube channel, you will find other parts, other angles, other ways I've presented similar information. So we need to eat a diverse cross-section of foods, because then we're bringing in natural microbes. And we're also putting in substrate building blocks for the microbes to build whatever the body needs, and the body to build whatever it needs. We need a high fiber intake. Why? Because the fiber stimulates the intestine to absorb the food. It also is food, the prebiotics for the probiotics. Celery, artichoke, grains, some fruits, kefir. Those are all prebiotics, supporting the probiotics, supporting the growth of the colonies. The fiber is crucial because it gets the food the food and the waste moving through the intestine, but it gets also the food absorbed. Butyric acid is formed. So low fiber will disrupt the gut's ecosystem. So will chronic stress, because you get a constriction, not only the gut, but the vessels, the whole body, everything constricts with stress. We don't get proper blood flow. We don't get proper oxygenation. We definitely don't get proper digestion. And you can see that in animals. A buck will have tiny little poops, but you take a huge big rhino or an elephant and you get the splat of dung. They're not worried. Nothing's going to really upset them. It might upset their baby, but they're okay. Whereas the little buck are constantly on their nerves, and you can see it in the feces. Same with humans. Examine yours. Are you defecating like an elephant or like a little buck that's nervous? If we eat too late at night, it's critical. There's rules of the stomach. You want to eat before sunset. I already ate before my presentation, and I'm not going to eat again, because food becomes toxic after sunset. And it's going to disrupt your sleep. It's going to lie in your gut, and you're going to feel tired in the morning. So we need to respect this body. We need to respect its functioning. It's crucial. People wondering why they can't sleep. Quality of food, the time it's eaten, how fast it's eaten. Were you present? Also, medication can affect digestion. Antibiotics, for example. Some medications are very acidic. That can affect digestion too. Can definitely affect the organisms that are around. So reduced organisms, reduced digestion of food. Infections, the fermented food, the people that are absorbing only 50% of their food, you're going to get worms, you're going to get infections, and you're going to keep buying the anti-parasite products. And the next one for worms, and the next one, till you start eating properly. So what did they say? You are what you eat. You also are what you think. So let's get this right. Excessive alcohol is definitely going to have an effect. It's going to ferment all the food, and it's high in sugar. Smoking is going to affect the food, the digestion, disrupt the gut ecosystem, make the blood thick. Food can't pass. Highly restrictive diets, problematic as well. We need to eat whole food and let the body do the rest. Chronic illnesses can also affect the gut ecosystem. Sometimes if it's life-threatening and the body is so diseased, the course of antibiotics might be your only answer. So we always got to look at how chronic things are. But if we're following prevention in this age of prevention, my 2026 health revolution, yeah, we're not going to have these problems. You're going to be on the front foot if disease strikes, not on the back foot. But also understand the role of disease, disorder. It's there to teach us. So you can be as healthy as anything. And why me? Why did I get sick? Because it was time for your body to clean naturally, one of the solstices or equinox periods. It was also time for you to stop, reflect, grow, learn, become more aware. So again, we're working with an integrative system, but an intricate system here that's responding to stimuli from outside, stimuli from within, all geared to pushing us down our path. And that's where we enter this whole my compass, holistic, integrated epigenetic life orientation, my HIELO system, where we're balancing the highs and the lows and closing the gaps in a binary yin-yang fashion. Okay, so this is what we're speaking about. So what I've just said, instead of waiting for the gut to be symptomatic and play up, what would prevention look like? So I'm not just saying, what disease do you have? What have you been diagnosed with? I'm saying, what does your body need in order to function well? I'm doing my best to show you. In my compass, we work through reset, restore, rejuvenate, rejoice. We do our benchmark assessment, highly crucial. I've got quantum devices for that, various options, a live blood analysis. Also, we don't miss anything. We don't leave any stones unturned. We will then, based on that, identify the root causes and a way forward to realign the body. The body moves through reset, restore, rejuvenate, rejoice. We remeasure after we've given the body an opportunity for its innate potential to heal according to its own accord. And then we will measure again, and we will measure the progress against the benchmark. You will know it, you will feel it, and we can measure it, and it's researched. This is true evidence-based medicine. And I've specially designed this quantum well-being compass in order to do that, to take you to a higher level of wellness, awareness, well-being, self-discovery, self-identity. Who am I? So now we're looking specifically at where does the 365 signature nutrient products fit in, because they're part of the realignment process, crucially part of it, as are my oxygen drips, as are the infrared saunas, as is acupuncture, all specifically designed holistically to move the body from A to B, along with emotional shift. So the nutrient is not the philosophy. It sits within the architecture of the HIELO. We're going to look at a microbiome reset I've mentioned already, flaxseed I've mentioned already. We're going to look at digestive enzymes, gut cleanse and restore, Irish sea moss, Ormus gold, and also my mucuna. I'm just going to start the presentation here with the products. Right, so we can see here my probiotic. This is really the gold standard in probiotics, rated hands down the best in the stores. So we have over 80 live strains, even moving up towards 120. And this comes with a certificate of analysis, which is a guarantee for you that they're standardized. You're going to get those organisms, effective organisms in you. So we're going to enhance digestion. We're going to improve the synthesis of neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, GABA, PEA, vitamins B and K. And we're going to build the gut biome with a certified product, not freeze-dried, so none of them are dead. You do not put them in the fridge because they will die. So all these beneficial live organisms are going to support the gut, and also it's got live enzymes. So it's a wild product. And it's got hydrolyzing enzymes which encourage water absorption. So imagine, not only food absorption, also water. And these microbes have been found naturally since ancient times. So it's using the same microbial cloud that we live in, breathe in, to make these organisms for us. Completely natural, 100%. The plants take it, my animals take it, the farm animals take it. So it's completely synergistic with the world we live in. And then we just need to make sure that we eat the prebiotics. Celeries, artichokes, grains, kefir, certain foods like bananas. I wouldn't eat bananas if I've got a dis-ease or a parasite overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth. It's just too sweet. So this one, it retails at $3.99. That's South African rand for 500 mils. And that's a real medicine on its own. Let's have a look at the flaxseed oil. One of my crucial tools. Because without this, we're not going to get proper absorption. We won't get proper lining of the lung for oxygen to come in, food to come in, genitourinary lining either. It's the highest life force oil of all the oils. That means that the neutron and proton are tightly bound by the electrons that are in orbit around it. The tighter the bond, the higher the life force. I'm only interested in life force. The flaxseed oil does it for you. Cold pressed, no heat, no light, and no air. Natural omegas 3, 6, and 9, grown right here where I live, not at the bottom of the ocean where it's dense. It's normal, and does not have to be heated to get the oil out. It's cold pressed. Any sea fish oil has been heated. You've got to heat the mussel to get the oil out. Heated oil is synthetic. It's plastic. It's carcinogenic. I'm not going to say that again, but you've heard me. So it's also stored in an amber glass, which helps a lot. Reduces plaque formation in the gut, in the blood, on the vessels, and cleans the blood. So it's an absolute integral member of a clean circulation and a clean digestive system. Moisturizes the mucous membranes, as I've said. This retails 250 mils is retailing at 130 South African rand at the moment. Now we've got our digestive enzymes. We've got 7 major enzymes. Amylase, protease, invertase, digestase, lipase, cellulase, lactase. Imagine, all 7 in this bottle. It's a bomb. If you've got bloating, fermentation, discord in the stomach, take one of those with each meal for probably 3 days. But even after the first enzyme, you won't have your bloat. You won't have those symptoms. So they come in along the way to assist, because if we're eating pineapple and we're eating lots of raw food, the enzymes are there already for digestion. So this is a helper. It's an aid. I've also got digestive enzymes plus betaine. Betaine is an enzyme from pineapple. And sometimes I do this because we need a little bit more hydrochloric acid in the stomach, especially an A blood group person, not enough acid in the stomach to digest the food properly. So we're always making sure that the stomach is acidic, and like, for example, a lemon will raise the acidity in the stomach, and then it's alkaline in the rest of the body. And I also have the bromelain enzymes on their own as well. So it just depends price-wise what I'm doing. I also, by the way, have the Triphalia, which is the 3 fruit enzymes, which I love because that conditions the gut and the blood. And then I'm getting beautiful circulation there. So we have everything here. I mean, enzymes are crucial for energy production, cell rejuvenation, absorption of oxygen, reduced inflammation, increased nutrients to the cells, enhanced removal of toxins, aged tissue, lingering debris. People with this ongoing cough that's around, I've actually even got nattokinase, which is awesome because that will just clear scarring, clear phlegm. So fighting infections and wound healing, dissolving blood clots, hormone regulation through enzymatic pathways, slowing of the aging process. Enzymes are crucial. They're at the interface between potential energy and kinetic energy, between ideas and manifestation. Absolutely crucial. And you get your enzymes from fruits, mostly. You will get it from kefir, you will get it from the microbiome reset. Any fermented food, you will get some enzymes. Now we're moving to the gut cleanse, and I've just put the ingredients there for you to actually see. Cascara sagrada is very gentle. You're not going to get that absolutely terrible gut cramps. Not at all. It just gently starts cleaning away the lining. Imagine this together with the probiotic, together with the flaxseed oil, together with the zeolite. You can see I put the Triphalia here into my gut cleanse. Slippery elm to coat ulcer areas. MSM comfrey, very soothing. Bee pollen, spirulina, reishi. These are the superfoods, crucial for gut health. Parsley, caraway, turmeric, stinging nettle, ginger, peppermint, kelp, all absolutely crucial for gut cleansing. So the gut cleanse and restore is an absolute bomb. It's going to do the job for you. I always say potentiate your products because you're going to get a potentiated effect. 1 + 1 is 3, 3 + 3 is 9. So it's better to use 3 products than 1. Less is more. That retails for $6.90. That's 60 big vegetable capsules, no fillers at all. RSC is an interesting one for gut health because you normally think of it as for lung health, but for gut health, it's critical. We have 100% RSC moss, 1,000 milligrams per 2 500 milligram capsule servings. 92 minerals in there. The body needs minerals, not only for digestion and absorption of foods, but for all the processes. Minerals are key. The Ormus Gold is coming up next. The REC moss is, we place it with the thyroid health, gut health, lung health, skin health, immunity, and weight management. So this is the pure expensive REC moss that I have. And then not to forget the Mucuna purines, all the neurotransmitters. So while the probiotic is busy building them for us, we can actually bring some in directly because Mucuna is the precursors to all the neurotransmitters. But it works hand in hand with the gut. And that's why I'm bringing it in here. Even it goes as far as reducing neurological pain. So lovely for these diseases and disorders and neurological conditions, extreme stress. It's an adaptogenic herb. It's wonderful. It grows with the cacao in the forest. So the cacao plant is the stimulant, the Mucuna is the anti-stimulant. Beautiful taken together in a smoothie. My brain fuel is completely balanced between stimulant and anti-stimulant. And that's how I've designed it, because you don't want to be overstimulated or understimulated. Neurogenic and inflammatory pain, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, depression. My clients love Mucuna. So do I. Just a word on the dopamine. When we're sitting in here with blue light coming at us, you know, I've often got my red light on to negate the blue light. But blue light thrashes dopamine, as does stress, as will also thrash the thyroid hormone, etc. But we need Mucuna, L-Dopa, to build up our dopamine reserves. Dopamine is our will to do things. It's absolutely crucial that we have it. It's important for insomnia, improving quality of sleep, libido, reproductive, fertility, muscle building. The muscle building bodybuilders love it. Improves lactation because it relaxes the dopamine precursor, the Jing core energy, the willpower. Jing energy you get from black foods. Jing is crucial, your core energy. That's what builds your immune system, your adrenals. And it cleans the gut as well. So imagine. And then we've got the Ormus Gold as well. Which has got the gold, silver, copper, nickel, all the platinum, precious metal minerals that are absent in the soil these days, absent in our food. And I've just said earlier that minerals are key. So you can use the RSC moss, which is 92. You can use my Shilajit, which is 85 minerals. That's fine. These are the superconductive minerals. Gold, silver, copper, nickel, platinum, precious metal minerals. And this is the one. And this is going to sort your gut out. A tablespoon in the morning in a glass of water. This is our medium size 250 ml. It's retailing for 640 Rand at the moment. And that's enough for a month. And that's going to rebuild telomeres, the chromosomes. So I've just introduced you again to another series of products specifically looking at the gut-brain connection. Specifically looking at that. So I call it 7 foundations. We want to nourish the body, provide those essential building blocks. Oxygenate, detoxify, and alkalinize the body. Crucial. If the body's acidic, you're going to battle to get well. If the body has low oxygen, you're going to battle to get well. In fact, don't come here if you're not going to take the oxygen because it's that crucial. I've got the alkalinizing replenish minerals, electrolytes with boron. It's a win of a product. We need to make sure that the body's internal communications are working. Hormonally, neurologically, cellularly, immunologically. So that's why the gut-brain axis is very strongly positioned today within this holistic realm of our body. We want to protect the body, build resilience, so that we on the front foot when external challenges arrive. And they're going to, because the nature of humanity, the nature of humans is to shift, is to close those emotional gaps. We need to be able to regenerate ourselves, support renewal, repair, healthy aging. We need to be able to adapt, just as a macuna, an adaptogenic herb adapts. We also need to be able to have resilience to adapt. An adaptogenic herb is going to help us. It's just going to lie there. You could take my stress adaptogens. There's 5 of them: the rhodiola, ashwagandha, Siberian ginseng, shatavari, foti. Those are crucial. Can also be taken ongoing. We want to be able to adapt emotionally, physically, environmentally. And the 7th pillar of foundation is to flourish. We want to thrive 365 days of year. Of course we do. The gut-brain conversation isn't separate from human flourishing. It's one example of the extraordinary communication taking place throughout the whole human being. So I've asked too many times, are we the ancestors of an endangered species? If we want healthier children and healthier children's children, we need to think beyond treating disease, disorder. We need to ask what supports healthy human development. That's my passion. Bring in things like nutrition we've talked about, movement, sleep, emotional security, relationships, education, our purpose, deepening our awareness into consciousness. That's what the HIELO process is about. That's what my doctoral thesis was about. That's the legacy I leave. And you have access to what I do. So my legacy of health behaviors, and through realigning people, bringing them back into order, we are able to reach out to the next generation. So some is inherited epigenetically, biologically, and some we're making now, current day epigenetics. So if you did get yourself a journal to start writing down all the areas that you're shifting, and we said that within 52 weeks you will have a whole year's yourself, or you'll be able to reflect on the year. So open up your reflection journal or your piece of paper and ask there, what am I feeding my body, my microbiome, and my mind every day? And then underneath that, write one thing that you could change this week. One thing that you're going to change. Eating greater plant diversity, drinking more water, reducing high processed foods, eating more slowly, improving your sleep, walking after dinner, managing stress, seeking medical advice about a persistent system. Come in and let's get you on the HIELO system, and let's assess. Not asking you to do all of these. Choose one conscious change. So holistic well-being should complement, not replace, thorough medical investigation into problems. Physically, neurologically, emotionally, and spiritually. So persistent, ongoing, concerning symptoms need to be looked at. And I've got thousands of case studies. I can't even put out there what we do here. People will arrive at my gate. I'd rather just work in the realm that I'm working. Don't ignore the body symptoms, because they get louder and the disease gets worse, and it's more difficult longer term to heal. But those people that have come and that have experienced degeneration now in the third or the fourth area of their body, wake up. There's an emotional aspect underneath this. What are you not learning? What are you still holding on to? What are you not surrendering to? And I say to people, what you resist persists. And I don't have to say anything after that. They know exactly what I mean. But don't try and self-treat yourself. That's what I'm saying. Come and get proper help. So let's return to the beginning. And I asked if your gut and brain are constantly communicating, which one is leading the conversation? Maybe this is the wrong question, because neither exists in isolation. That's what we're coming up with. The gut speaks, the brain responds. The brain speaks, the gut responds. So it's an interconnected network. You move with the immune system, the hormones, nutrition participates, stress participates, lifestyle, environmental, the choices we make all participate. What we eat affects what we think, and it affects what we do. Simple. So we can say the human being is in fact a conversation. And maybe that is the deeper lesson of my HIELO compass. We are an ongoing conversation. We are an ongoing species. We cannot understand the full human being if we separate it into pieces. That's very reductive. We need to be holistic. See the connections. Understand, become aware. Know that our body is speaking to us. Know how to heal. I will teach you how to do the health process. Nourishment is crucial. The ability to adapt, the ability to restore ourselves, and ultimately to flourish. So go and have a look on my website, www.365 Healthy by Choice. You will see some of the special products on sale. You will learn a lot. Go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Jane Mackenzie, and learn. There's no excuse. I've put it all out there for you. It's up to all of you. I'm only as good as you, and I can't do it for you. You will heal you. In the same way I will heal myself. But the lovely thing is, in the nature of what I do is, the more I heal you and learn from you, the more I heal and the more you heal. So it's a beautiful two-way process that happens, you know, and I'm really grateful for the position that I'm in and able to effect realignment in the way that we do here, completely naturally, sustainably. And knowing that on an epigenetic level, I'm creating ancestors who are not the ancestors of an endangered species. I'm creating healthier children and their children's children. I hope you've loved this evening, and good luck for the week, and we'll see you all next week.